Well, well, well. September 18th. It is Thursday, and we got past the news. And, well, yeah, this is cool. Let's go through it. There's some things that happened, and, I'm happy about the way that the charts moved yesterday based off of what we talked about earlier in the morning. And, yeah, I feel like we're rocking and we're rolling, right? So, but the thing that I'm more excited about is what I was trying to tell you about yesterday, about how news plays work. Because here's the thing that I want to kind of lay into your head. It's not about the news. I don't really think it is. Whether it's good news or bad news, I mean, there's plenty of times where it's like, hey man, this is really good news, but the chart is going down. Or, hey man, this is really bad news. Why are we going up? It has nothing to do with the news. It has everything to do with the opportunity to move the chart and make money. Okay? And that's why the chart moves the way that it does during news days. And that's also why I suggest wait until it plays out. Now, let's take a look at what happened yesterday. Because we're going to digest this, right? So these are the two candles we're going to pay attention to, because this is where we started yesterday on Wednesday. And if you notice, it hit two order blocks. Two. And this morning, before it is 9:30, the market's about to open. This morning, when I woke up and I took a look at the charts, we were hanging around here. And the candle looked just like this, which means it didn't really go anywhere, right? It just played its game. Now, I want to zoom in to show you all of the details. Now, I was going to record the FOMC yesterday so that we could see how the chart moves. But again, I think what's really important is not the information that's being told. It's the opportunity that they have to move the charts and really make money in a couple of seconds versus where you think the news really kind of laid out. And that's a little bit hard to grasp, right? If it's good news, it should go up. If it's bad news, it should go down. But this is not the kind of charts that, this is not the kind of idea that we're playing. Now, there's a difference between, all of a sudden the chart taking off and us running with the volume and, the trend or anything like that. This is different, okay? So let's take a look. We're looking at BTC, and we're going to drop down to the 15-minute time frame here. Actually, I think what we're going to do is, yes, here. Take a look at this. This is what happened. Let's see here. I think this is around. I think we were around 3 o'clock here, or 1 o'clock. We started going down yesterday. We were right here when I was talking about the chart. But what I thought was super, super interesting about yesterday was this. It didn't position itself on the 50% line. It didn't do that at first. What it did was it came to this 50% line right here. And this was a range that I was talking about. I think it was on Monday, maybe Tuesday. I think it was Monday. We were talking about this range. I dropped these in really quickly, and we kind of went for it. But look what it did. It hit both order blocks on both sides, right? During the day. And then the news came, and again, like where it went was nowhere. And then finally the real move started to happen, right? Now, the crazy part of this whole thing was I was hoping that I'd be able to show you how the chart moves to the middle of the range and how it taps two order blocks, right? And it did. 1, 2. And this is really where it went. It didn't go anywhere. So if you thought, hey man, I'm going to short up here and I'm going to long over here, that when you got to the middle, you made gains on both sides, right? And you basically take your profit, okay? But one of these is going to go. It's a 50-50 chance which way it's going to go, right? So here's the cool part, right? And this is the exciting part that I wanted to show you. If I go over to the 12-hour time frame and we go take a look of exactly what happened yesterday, okay? Let's take a look. Even though it moved to the middle of this range, the 50% line on this small range, the real important part was this bigger range right here. These two blocks, and look, it hit one side, and today it hit the other side. Or actually last night, it hit the other side. And now the move is happening. So, this is how news works. It doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter what the numbers are. It doesn't matter any of that stuff. The other thing I want to do is I want to go take a look at the S&P 500 because this was something that I called out yesterday as well. So if you notice what happened, this was the news play. Now I said yesterday, we were right around here yesterday, and I said it was going to probably go down and then bounce up and that it could come up here and go. But I thought it was going to hit this line. And the reason why is because we got one touch, two touch, right? And now what I'm looking for is I'm actually looking for it to start losing some kind of momentum of some sort, right? I'm not really sure how this is going to play out because we are really, really at the top here. So we could bounce here, but I am looking for this to be kind of the end of the trend line. But let's go to what happened yesterday. Look at this. News came out. It came down and it touched this. It touched it. And then it bounced right back up, right? And by the end of the day, we were right back into the spot. This white candle was not here towards the end of the day. This happened overnight. Now, the cool part is this. If I go over to the S&P 500, you're going to see there's a gap. See this gap? This gap is what happens in the middle of the night when the market is shut off. Now, the reason why there are two different charts here, you see this? This is the gap, right? We have no idea what happened in the middle of the night. We have no idea what happened in the middle of the night. But we do, because the market turns on internationally. And this is what happened in the middle of the night. And this is your gap that you're seeing. You are seeing this gap. Somewhere along here, the market turned on right here. And that's where you're going to see there's actually no white candle, right? See? No white candle. So what I like to do is I keep both of these on because when the market opens up and you see gaps like this in here, usually means it's going to try to come and fill it, right? To kind of catch up to what happened in the nighttime. But it's not necessary to fill right away. It does, like, I don't know, a little bit more than half of the time it tries to fill it right away, but it doesn't have to, right? Because, I mean, like here, look, here's a gap right over here, right? You can see it filled, right? This candle filled it, right? There's a gap right here. Notice that it didn't fill it. It didn't fill this gap here. There's a gap here. It did fill it. It filled it all the way, right? But there are also some gaps that are left down below. So I like to look at that as kind of like, okay, what's going to happen in this section? Here, this is where we are right now. All right, so let's go back over to Bitcoin, okay? What do I think is going to happen? Well, truth be told, we are now at the other side of the 50% line. So that means this right here is our zone. This is our zone for longing, right? Because I believe once we get over here, I mean, it could just pop over here, bounce on this line one more time, and then we're going to pop up here. This is ultimately where I'm going. Yeah, I'm still in a long. I'm about to take profit. I'm like an inch away from taking profit over here, and it worked out pretty well. If you look over to the left now, right over here, we have now taken out this dollar sign. The reason why is because, see, this was the high that we were targeting, and this candle went above there. So anybody who is in a short in this area is now stopped out here. So this dollar sign is now filled. We've got one left really. So let me drop an X on this. Bam. Okay. So Bitcoin's looking pretty bullish, right? If you haven't gotten into a long or anything like that, here's the way I want you to look at this. This 50% line is important. And this right here is your Q, okay? If we go below this candle right here, then most likely we are going lower. So this is your target. So if you were to take a long right now, for example, I would make the stop down here. You are looking at about a 2.5% range of losing money, right? If you were to long in the section. If you were to long right now, okay, from where we're at, let's say you just marketed long, you've got a I'd say 2.5%, right? And if you've got a 2.5%, 2.5%, and you were to do this at 10x, right? 10x leverage, for example, you're looking at a 25% loss if you got stopped out here. If you got stopped out right here. And it's worth the chance, honestly. Well, again, you know, I'm saying that, but you know that it's up to you. This is just my, you know, this is my thinking. This is my opinion, and you have to do what's best for you. But this gap here, that's right here, if this is our target, if we say that somebody took a long right here and the candle's going to try to take out this guy, maybe it will bounce right over here. I would put your stop somewhere around here, right? Maybe even lower if you want to. If you want to tolerate it, you can make it like 3%, right? Right? Times 10x if you want to, 10x, okay? And then that would be a 30% drop. Now, the thing is again, we were talking about positioning size and stuff like that. If you had $100 in here, right? If you had $100, I would put 10 in now. Why not, right? And then here, I would drop in 30, right? And then down here, right before your stop, I would drop in 60, okay? So that's how I would play that. Now, the other thing is making this plan is you have to see what the upside would be. So here's the upside. You're talking about possibly a 3% move. So it's kind of like a 3.6% move. So you would be looking at maybe about a 3.6% times 10x, right? And I'm just doing some simple math here. You would be looking at a 36% profit, right? 36% profit. So what I would do is I would take profit zones as you go. Okay, so this would be like TP1, TP2, and then I'd take a, you know, TP3, okay? And just see what's going to happen. Because right now I am shifting my mindset. My mindset is no longer about longing, okay? This is my area to long, and this is my area to long. I am now believing that there are a lot of people who are changing their mindsets, right? They're changing their mindsets. We are no longer going to zero. We're not going to zero. Instead, we are going to the moon. All the way up. And it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. So this is the dangerous side of trading. When you start to get so bullish that you think like, oh my gosh, this is going to go to the moon, whatever, that I'm full porting it, you know, this is where people start making their big mistakes. I am now shifting my mindset into okay, if we reach up here on Bitcoin, then I might have an opportunity to take a short just for this distance. And the reason why I'm shifting it for this distance is because let's say we do hit up here, okay, and it rejects, and it comes down here, right? It could possibly come down here, and then start it all over again, just like so. So the short becomes greater than the long until we are told otherwise, okay? This area here is important. I haven't shed it out yet, right? Like I haven't included it yet. But this is important right over here. Because there was a candle up here, the target really is up here. This is where the target is, somewhere around here. And we'll go through that as we get a little bit closer. So if I was going to plan for a short somewhere along the line, I would take this area right here, and I would include this. Now this is a pretty big area here. So let me take a look at what the stretch is. Yeah, that's about a 3%. And again, I don't really want to play a 3% range. I'd rather play a 2% range. So I'm going to rethink this and figure out what to do up here, because I think that I need to move this and expand it a little bit higher to include this manipulation at this point. Because if it's so bullish, it will come up to the top, right? There is a dollar over here. This is also right there. Meaning that somebody threw money in thinking that we were going to go higher. They lost money, and now we're working our way up. They might actually take their money. If it drops lower, then they'll throw their money in again. Okay, so that's that as far as position sizing goes, and you know, where I see the charts. Now, let me just explain this one more time. I do not like to chase moves at all. So my plan now is, instead of, like, actually my plan is still kind of the same. My plan is that if it does come down to this area, maybe if it comes over here now, if I start to see more of a bounce, I'm going to add to my long. Okay? I haven't really changed my idea about this section yet, adding to my long. So this is still on the table for me. But I do feel that we are now on the side of the 50% range, because we now tap this bad boy. But it doesn't mean we can't tap this one more time. Okay? So we got to be careful about, you know, stepping on the gas, right? Again, it's about planning and not reacting. This area is the area for a long, but it's more closer to this side of the area. So that's what I'm looking at now. Okay. Let's go take a look over at Ethereum, because Ethereum's doing some fancy McFiddle stuff, right? Yeah. Cool. So we've got this, yeah, okay, so let's go over what happened yesterday again. Like, this is cool. So if I go down to the 1 hour chart, you could probably see it a little bit better. Let me knock the color down on this. So this is just a little bit too bright. Whoop. Targets. Whoop. Okay. So yesterday, here was the news play, right? So we were hovering around the 50% line. This is 50%, right? And here were the order blocks, right? These are actually the golden pockets right over here. And look what it did. It came down. It hit the golden pocket. Notice that. These lines are not put there arbitrarily, right? It almost touched the bottom of the line, but it did not pass it. That's important. And then what it did was it went to the other side. So if I were to draw this like the pattern that I was talking about yesterday, it would look like this. Down, up, middle, real move. This is that pattern. Let me darken it in. Let me darken it in. There we go. There you go. There it is. Right? And yeah. Surprise, surprise. Order block. Order block. Mean. This is where I think we're going on Ethereum. We're coming back here to figure out where we're actually going to shift. And you can see we're already starting to kind of roll that route. So I added to my long over here. I did not get greedy or anything like that. And again, like, I've got my plan from yesterday. That's cool. So I'm feeling like these charts are looking pretty good, honestly. And you know, the pretty good part is the fact that we are on this other side of this range, right? So if we come over here and we tap this and we build some more strength, then yeah, I think Ethereum is going to be launching. So Ethereum feels like the one to look at. I still feel like that. Let's go take a look over at the dominance to just double check, right? Exactly what's happening. It's funny. Even the dominance did the same thing as a news play. And look exactly what it's doing, right? So here, this is where we started right here. First move is always the wrong move. Up and then back down. There's that pattern. News. So we'll see. Today is going to be the day that we start to see everything kind of line up. In the meantime, a lot of these alts they're prepping. They're prepping. A lot of these alts, you know, they had a pretty fancy move last night in the middle of the night. But the thing is with these alts, if you look, this is APT, for example. Let's go to a higher time frame, right? Let's go to a higher time frame. All of this stuff here is not marked out correctly, so let me just get rid of this right here. And let me get rid of this and these and that and this and that and this. We'll leave that there, right? I'll clean this up later on. Yeah, this works right here. If you look at this. This is low. This is low. My goodness. If ever there was a buying opportunity, now's the time. Now's the time. Because if I were to measure up from here to the all-time high of a coin that just started really in 2002, right, and hasn't really had its shot yet, you're talking about a 3x from here, a 3x from here, and you could just drop it into spot and hold on to it and let it run. And there's a lot of these that are doing that right now. A lot of them are at its lowest point, right? Some of these are probably going to be dead. Not really sure which ones, but I mean, like, look at this spike from here. I mean, if you would have got this yesterday, you're talking about an 80% move on alpha, right? Let's take a look at ARB. Yeah, every one of these are looking exactly the same. Exactly the same. They are the lowest that they possibly could be, right? Even some of these higher caps. I mean, like, look at this. Look at this on Doge, man. I mean, yeah, this looks like it's ready to pop. You know? And if I were to draw the line here, you can see, look, it needs to break that. It needs to break this in order to get running. I mean, the opportunities now on some of these. Look at this move here. Whoa, 700%, you know? So while Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing their thing, and I only trade leverage on Bitcoin and Ethereum because they're easier to read, you know? Like there's no reason for me to challenge it. Like if it's something that you become good at and you can read and you really understand the charts, there's no reason to go and start like tapping into these other ones and find out that, you know, it moves a lot more wild than you anticipated, right? Instead, you can buy spot on these and just kind of like let it rain. Now, the other thing I'm going to go into probably tomorrow is talking about some stocks, right? How we can correlate this over to stocks, because the same things that I'm showing you guys, you could see in all of the other stuff. So, as far as that goes, you know, we are in this zone. We are on the, we're on the upper side of this range. This 50% line is playing a role at this point. And if we can come down here, right here, maybe we can start seeing everything kind of move up, right? Or it can move up from now. I'm not really sure. We'll just see. The middle of the range is always the toughest, right? But we can always kind of look back at some of the other 50% lines and stuff. Let's not look at that. I almost just like threw up looking at my charts on how messy they are. So anyway, yeah, In the meantime, we're rocking. And I'll leave you with this song.
It's nothing a little music can't help.
Have a good day, guys.
Rockin', rockin' and rollin'. Down to the beach I'm strolling. But the seagulls poke at my head, not fun. I said, seagulls, stop it now. Everyone told me not to stroll on that beach. Said seagulls gonna come, poke me in the coconut, and they did, had me going like, ah.